Hey guys, it's Spidey Steph. I'm gonna start doing a segment called Symptoms of a Sick Society where I'm gonna talk about different symptoms of a sick society because I really believe that the society we live in is a sick society in many ways. And yeah, Western society, it's fucked up, man. But today I'm gonna talk about mental illness and how it's viewed in Western society. Now, people's opinions might differ on this topic, but I personally believe that mental illness is viewed as a very negative thing in Western society. If you have mental illness, you are deemed as disabled, unfit, unwell, ill, mental illness. It's in the fucking word. And it's very interesting because I came across this article actually a while ago that I've wanted to talk about a shaman and what he sees when he looks at mental illness in Western society. And if you want, you can read the full thing after. I highly recommend it. It's a very interesting article. It kind of makes you think, it's kind of fucked up the way they treat us in this society. It's called the Shamanic View of mental illness. In the Shamanic View, mental illness signals the birth of a healer. Thus, mental disorders are spiritual emergencies, spiritual crises, and need to be regarded as such to aid the healer in being born. Whoa. Whoa. Mind fuck. Mind blown. Now think about that compared to how we view mental illness here. You are given a straitjacket and put in a room with 4 white walls that are padded when you have a mental illness here. Not necessarily, but you are likely told to go on a bunch of medication and that something is very wrong with you. Something is wrong with your mind or your brain. You have a disorder and it needs to be fixed. That's where the problem lies. What those in the West view as mental illness, the Dagara people regard as good news from the other world. The person going through the crisis has been chosen as a medium for a message to the community that needs to be communicated from the spirit realm. Mental disorder, behavioral disorder of all kinds signal the fact that two obviously incompatible energies have merged into the same field. These disturbances result when the person does not get assistance in dealing with the presence of the energy from within the spirit realm. I don't know if you're spiritual, but I consider myself a spiritual person. I don't follow a specific religion. I was brought up with a religious background, but my eyes have really opened since then, and I think that people can take good things from each religion, but I also believe strictly following religion isn't really the route to go. A lot of wars and conflicts are because of religion. Just my opinion again, if you follow a religion and you find that your life is going well, then that's awesome. I do believe that there is a higher power out there, or a higher being, or a god, or whatever you want to call it. I don't really have a word to describe it personally because I don't think in human terms it can be described. I don't think our minds can actually comprehend it because it is that powerful. And you may not even be spiritual at all and just think that I'm fucking crazy. But that's okay, because I've got mental illness. We in the West are not trained in how to deal or even taught to acknowledge the existence of psychic phenomena, the spiritual world. In fact, psychic abilities are denied. When energies from the spiritual world emerge in a Western psyche, that individual is completely unequipped to integrate them or even recognize what is happening. The result can be terrifying. Without proper context for and assistance in dealing with the breakthrough from another level of reality, for all practical purposes, the person is insane. Heavy dosing with antipsychotic drugs compounds the problem and prevents the integration that could lead to soul development and growth in the individual who has received these energies. Now, this actually makes a lot of sense to me because I was put on medication at a young age when I had depression and something was fucked up with my head, and I attempted to go off my medication a while ago, and I actually got down to half the dose that I was originally at, and since then I have become more spiritually awakened. Coincidence? What if we are born with these extra abilities as I like to call them, because we're supposed to teach people certain things. The society we live in is so messed up. Like, I can't even begin to, like, define it and describe it, but I'm sure that a lot of you out there know, and maybe some of you don't agree, but personally, I really think that it's just... Daisy, stop squeaking your toy, please! Play with it later. Whether or not we actually have, like, physical energy in us that is clashing with another energy that is supposed to, like, deliver some kind of message to humanity, I don't know, but I do think that we do have gifts that are supposed to speak in different ways to people. For example, people with anxiety or depression tend to be more sensitive to their environments around them, and that allows us to be intuitive and be more understanding of people and their problems, and be deep thinkers instead of just kind of floating through life. And I'm not saying people without mental illness are just, la-di-da-di-da, pointless people in the world. No, they're not. No one is pointless. Everyone is here for a reason and has a message. But I think that we kind of get mental illness because we're born with these sensitive souls or energies or whatever you want to call it, and we're kind of tortured because of it, because in society these days it's not supposed to be like that. We're not supposed to feel like things are wrong. We're supposed to kind of just march blindly like little soldiers and be happy with the way things are, or at least pretend to be, and just go with it. But we have this, like, inner urge that wants to fight against that. We have something within us telling us, no, this isn't right, and it's pretty much like the voice eventually becomes so loud that you can't take it anymore, and you either cope with it by slinking into this whole depression or panicking and freaking out about it, or you go in fits of rage, whatever. Like, it's really hard to deal with. But I want people to know that they're not alone in dealing with it. And maybe looking at your mental illness in a different perspective might help you. Could you imagine being raised and being taught that your mental illness is a gift and that you need to be coached so that you can be a spiritual healer for other people? Like, how different would your life have gone if you were born and raised that way instead of all your life being told that something's wrong with you? Nothing's wrong with you. You're perfect, my dear. You're perfect. My dog's just chilling in the background. Daisy! Hi. Daisy. Hey, babies. She's got the cutest little underbite. And probably a little bit of mental illness. Bye-bye.